Welcome to the CSI Crime Lab, Graveyard Shift. I'm Gil Grissom, and you must be the new intern. I know it's your first night, but we're short-handed and... Grissom. Yeah, Jim. We're just leaving. We've got a homicide. I know you've got good problem-solving skills or you wouldn't be here. You'll have to jump right in on this crime scene with me. John Webster said, "Death hath 1,000 doors to let out life." Let's find out which one our victim took. First officer, fill us in.
Let's see, manager got a call from a guest complaining about noise. He checked it out, found the TV going pretty loud, and this young lady here who didn't exactly need it turned up. No signs of forced entry. Manager's name is Bert Suston. He's pretty bent out of shape, but cooperative enough. You can question him if you want. Wish I had more for you.
It's a start, and the crime scene will have plenty to say. Probably a good idea to start with our victim. Perhaps there's more we can learn. Since the TV was on, somebody probably used this recently. Maybe the killer. Let's find out. Some kind of stain on the sink here. We should try to detect what it is. Perhaps there's more we can learn. Perhaps there's more we can learn. bloodstain pattern, trying to tell its story. Nice find. If there was a struggle here, then why no obvious blood on the Vic? We should swab it. We should definitely have Greg take a look at this in the lab. Look at that. There's some bruising on her neck. These marks strongly suggest she was strangled, likely a violent killing. Perhaps there's more we can learn. Perhaps there's more we can learn. There's no prints here. We can't use that here. We can't use that here. Deep bruising patterns suggest a ligature, sexual ritual, or premeditated murder. There's nothing special there. can't use that here. We 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 can't use that here. Just a hair, right? A tiny thing and yet so very big. Note, it is not the victim's hair color. Someone else was here, in close proximity to the deceased. Our killer may be leaving us a message. Try using a similar tool. In ancient Greece, families put a coin in the mouths of their late loved ones to pay the ferryman to cross the river Styx. Could be our killer is related to our victim and has a bent for mythology, or maybe this is a final insult. This is an expensive bauble to leave behind. May rule out robbery as a likely motive. We can't use that here. There's nothing special there. There's no prints here. Initials KY engraved on it. This could help us establish Kylie's identity. Make sure you've asked the coroner everything about the victim. He may find some extra trace evidence on the body. We should talk to Doc Robbins at the morgue to see if he can confirm the cause of death.
Look, I know a girl died and it's a shame, but I got a business to run. Bert Sustin, I manage the hotel. What do you want to know? Showgirl on the strip? Nice enough, never made no trouble. Kind of a regular here, made a half-dozen visits over the past couple of weeks. No credit cards, strictly cash and carry, capiche? If she had company tonight, I don't know who. My business is minding my own business. We only give keys out to registered guests. My, patrons don't like to be dropped in on, catch my drift? And I got the only master key. No idea. First name was Kylie. Last, well, that kind of varied. Smith, Jones. Seems I remember her using a different name first time she filled out the checking card. Sure, I figured you'd want to see it. There's an address on it, too. Now, do you mind? Cops hanging around ain't all that helpful for my business.
Let's check that TV for prints, too. Hotel room like this, we may have to sort through dozens, but the right one may be waiting. Try using a similar tool. Try using a similar tool.
So, you're Grissom's latest victim, huh? Well, I'm in charge of the victims who aren't still walking around. Albert Robbins, welcome aboard. I'll do my best to answer your questions. How our Vic died, what the murder weapon was, maybe even the deceased's identity. And remember, I'm dealing with trace evidence you weren't even aware of at the crime scene, so don't be a stranger. When you need information about the body, just ask. After death, a human body generally drops 2 degrees the first hour and another degree every hour after that, with a 4-hour give or take. Given the core temperature of the victim's liver and the ambient temp at the crime scene, I estimate she was killed between 11 and 11:30 p.m. There are petechiae in the victim's eyelids, tiny pinpoint hemorrhages caused when the blood backs up into the capillaries. But with an internal injury like this, you won't have much, if any, of the victim's blood at the scene. Any blood you find is more likely the killer's. Asphyxia due to strangulation. The hyoid bone, just under the bruising on her neck, was broken. Quick death, anyway. Found traces of skin under 3 of her nails. Not a lot, but enough to indicate she may have been trying to fight off her assailant. You can take it with you. Ran a rape kit, too. Sexual activity, but no sign of assault.
Come on in, and I'm glad to see you. We've been shorthanded on the night shift for too long. I'm Captain Jim Brass. Anything you need on the law enforcement side, I'm your new best friend. You want somebody brought in for questioning, need a warrant, an arrest, I'll make it happen. So what's up on the hotel killing? Yeah, I looked into our Vic's brilliant showbiz career, which consisted of one chorus line gig with a production that shut down a couple of weeks ago. Look, we questioned him at the scene. You want to talk to him again, you gotta come up with a good reason. Sheriff Mobley hates it when we harass the locals. It costs him votes.
Oh, so you're the new pledge around the CSI frat house. How do you like the initiation so far? Look, I know what it's like to be thrown in the pool and told to swim. I'm here for you. Greg Sanders. Confidentially, I'm the guy who keeps this party hopping. Hey, you want to know the composition of unknown evidence from the field? You know who to call. You want me to run a DNA comparison on some samples? My pleasure. Just select the item you want me to analyze and drag it onto me. Don't be shy. You want me to compare a couple of items? Just give them to me. And if you want to use a computer or the microscope, just click on them and I'll tell you more. Now you know who really runs things. Check that out under the microscope. See if you can match it to a corroborating piece of evidence. Hey, good news. Found enough DNA for a profile. but comparing it to another sample is where the fun begins. I've done everything I can think of with that. Next to me, computer's your best buddy. It's hooked up to a number of search databases. Just drag the evidence onto either side of the computer and click search. To make comparisons, just drag evidence onto both sides and click compare. If you got anything, you'll find out right away.
There's a clear difference between those. Make sure you've got a match before you ask me for a confirmation.
Blood, with plenty of DNA for me to draw comparisons.
Interpreting evidence isn't guesswork. Make sure you look close for subtle differences before you ask me to double-check your work. There's a clear difference between those. Don't quite have a match there. Check the details when doing the comparison. Only when you're sure should you ask for confirmation.
What you got there is a partial print. Tricky little things, partials. Not enough info to call up a rap sheet in the database. Best thing you can hope for is finding an existing print or rap sheet and compare the partial to it. I were you, I'd scan those prints into the computer over there and run a search for any known suspects. I've done everything I can think of with that. Don't be afraid of the microscope. It's your friend too. Want to look at something under it? Just drag any trace evidence onto either side of the lens. To compare two things, drag the second item onto the other available slot. If you find a match, your evidence and case files will update. Sweet, huh?
There's a clear difference between those. Make sure you've got a match before you ask me for a confirmation. A partial fingerprint could still be useful, though. We need to compare it to a full print to establish a match. That should do it for now. Don't quite have a match there. Check the details when doing the comparison. Only when you're sure should you ask for confirmation.
Bye.